I'm taking my talents up to New York City was how the script was originally written. It's amazing to think how many titles that could have swung. Would the Thunder win in 2012 and keep James Harden on the roster? Would the Spurs have expanded their dynasty? Or would the two banners hanging up in Miami be hanging up in the Garden? Well, I'm no LeBron, but I don't know why he didn't like this pitch from James Dolan. It wasn't originally in my plans because I never thought it was possible, LeBron said about his move to Miami. You know what was originally in his plans? New York City, Madison Square Garden, the mecca of basketball. Bill Simmons described LeBron's choice on his podcast. It was basically the Knicks to lose, and they just couldn't stay out of their own way. The stories are legendary. Well, let's explore some of them now. LeBron was coming off back-to-back MVP seasons, realized Cleveland was not in a situation to compete anytime soon, when you can make an argument Anderson Varejao is one of your best players. The back-to-back MVP was obviously at the top of the list of free agents available that year. Other players available included Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh, but also Carlos Boozer, Ray Allen, Amari Stoudemire, and many more role players. So to get the biggest fish in the pond, you would think you would tell them about plans on the other fish they could make a run at, right? Well, here was the Knicks plan. Bill Simmons described the meeting between LeBron and the Knicks on his podcast. Dolan was Dolan. They didn't have anything prepared. It just couldn't have gone worse by all accounts. It was a disaster. I think at that point, combined with the decade the Knicks just had, I think those guys were just like, fuck it. How was it a disaster? One report indicates they had nothing to say about developing a roster beyond LeBron James. Their sell was LeBron could build a dynasty in New York, not necessarily the Knicks, and that LeBron could be the richest athlete in the NBA with the exposure of New York City. The primary problem with that is LeBron was going to be the richest NBA athlete if he signed with Utah. The biggest star in the game already had exposure. The Knicks had $34 million to play around with after trading away the $30 million Jerome James contract, trading away the remainder of Zach Randolph's $84 million contract, and buying out Stephon Marbury along with many other moves. So, how do you secure the biggest fish in the pond? Well, you hire Tony and Carmelo Soprano, thought James Dolan, and then you ask them to attend your meeting with LeBron James. I'm no LeBron James, but I would have just asked, where do I put my signature? For LeBron, however, he cared about other things like winning and a plan. The Knicks were doomed from the start with that. All due respect to Knicks fans. Another report said a big part of the New York Knicks pitch was a complimentary CD of James Dolan's band JD and the Straight Shot, which James Dolan included as a staple in his free agency meetings. Well, now they got him, right? Tony and Carmelo Soprano, and a complimentary CD by James Dolan, no less. LeBron declined a second meeting with the team. According to a Sports Illustrated article in 2010, New York's further plans were to put together a big three: LeBron, free agent Joe Johnson, and Amari Stoudemire or Chris Bosh. But they couldn't offer each player a max contract based on the salary cap available. So each star would have had to take a cut of their salary, which apparently was doable as they did so in Miami, but instead of the $16 million they'd be paid in Miami, they would have had to take $11 million. The Knicks met with LeBron's business manager and agent after they signed Amari Stoudemire. They no longer had space for a third star in free agency after Amari's $100 million contract. LeBron did not attend the meeting. The Knicks would later trade for Carmelo and put together a few fun seasons, but never serious contenders for the title. LeBron and the Heat would go on to win 2 out of 4 championships before LeBron's Cleveland return. So why was New York the favorite? LeBron had said Madison Square Garden is his favorite stadium to play. In his talk with Dwayne Wade in their last game against each other, it was either here or at the Garden, that's it. This quote describes how much it was on his mind. Well, hope may still be alive. An NBA insider believes LeBron will retire a New York Knick, but this NBA insider works for the New York Post, so take that for what it is. To add insult to injury for Knicks fans, it's now been reported that Kareem wanted to go to his hometown New York to play for the Knicks, but they decided against trading for him. And it doesn't stop there. Michael Jordan was almost a Knick as well. Twice. That's 3 for 3 on Goat Mountain. To hear that story, check out the video on the screen and subscribe to the channel, or I will give you a complimentary CD of James Dolan's band.